but it's right here, so I can always go back and read it.
I tell my students it doesn't matter if you remember things, you just have to know where to find them.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to remember them at one point.
that's right. I knew this one was coming.
Thank you.
So, a motion to approve the revised policy 501.
I'll move for the approval.
Moved by Joseph, seconded by John, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Which brings us to membership in professional organizations. Few little changes there.
I know.
You identified the Greater Iowa City.
Yeah, Greater Iowa City likes to be known as Greater Iowa City Inc.
What is that?
They're not incorporated. It's Iowa City, North Liberty, Coralville. That's what Inc. stands. They're jealous about that, so if there are no objections, we'll put it back, put it in there.
This isn't a request for a change, but I'm curious that the library pays for half of the membership. Is that just a budget decision?
Quite a bit more. Kind of tight, I would say the three of the budget is quite a bit more.
And this, we hope to encourage people to be part of it and to support that how we can, but depending on the number of staff in a given year, it could outpace the allocated funding.
The university doesn't pay ever any of the
Right.
costs of a professional membership.
Yeah,
I've had my membership paid by the university.
I was gonna say, some colleges might.
Yeah.
No,
Sneak it in,
no.
yeah.
But not our college.
It's never gonna be the arts and sciences, but. Other comments or questions? Yes, I would accept a motion to approve policy 103 as amended in the packet.
So moved.
Joseph's moved,
I'll second.
and it was seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes as well. And the holiday calendar, so this is a request basically to add a little bit of holiday time, or a little bit of time during which the library will be closed to the calendar. Or you want to tell us a little bit about the event, Counselor?
Sure, so this is a new training opportunity that the corridor directors are putting together for staff, that would bring staff from libraries in the corridor together, starting the day with some kind of keynote presentations and then doing breakouts in the afternoon with the intention of getting staff together who were to do similar work at their home institutions. It sometimes feels like the ILA conference is the only time that our crews get together, and it felt like, because there's some crossover regional work, it'd be nice to try something different. All of the participating libraries are contributing financially, and Cedar Rapids was able to offer a facility and other supports. So we're trying it there first. The idea would be that the training staff who are attending the training would be offsite all day. So we're asking to close at 6 rather than 9 so that we can consolidate that shift coverage. So the staffing in the building would be traditional, regular staffing. It just would be a 6 o'clock closure as opposed to 9 o'clock.
So how many staff members would attend?
I think between 20 and 23 will attend. And we are the only library in the quarter that is scheduled to be open that day. The others are closing to accommodate the training. I felt like maintaining some service in the region felt important. And when I polled staff about interest, there were a number who said, you know, I would rather stay here and work. And I made it really clear in that ask, this is optional. We're not saying it's mandatory. So it wasn't a refusal to participate. It was just, you know what, if I have the choice, I think I'll stay here. So those things kind of added to thought that we could be open, we could maintain that service, but also allow folks to go.
Questions or comments?
I think that's great. No, in my own professional work, you know, we have our state conference and I would love the opportunity to meet with people doing what I do nearby as well, so.
And I think depending on how this one goes, we may change the ask next cycle, we may not. We may not repeat the event, we'll just see, we're kind of feeling it out this time, and there will be an invitation extended to trustees as well, so watch your inboxes for that.
Any other discussion?
Do any of the libraries close for the presidential birthdays in February? I mean, we don't.
I don't know. Yeah. You guys are calling the region?
Is it called President's Day now or something? I mean, when I was growing up, it was first Lincoln and then Washington birthday, but
I don't.
It was an asking change recently that we used to, have holiday hours, so 10 to 6 on President's Day. And then when Juneteenth was adopted, they opted to, not have holiday hours on President's Day.
Well, I think it's a great idea to have that regional collaboration. I really support that. And Ellsworth, I think your solution for the scheduling so that the library could still be open part of the day, essentially the whole day, is a really nice compromise too. So I support it.
I think we're ready for a vote, so all in favor?
Do we have a motion?
Oh, we need a motion.
Move we adopt the holiday calendar.
I'll second.
Now, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have been a little scatterbrained, so I think that I just would miss that motion.
I guess it could have been by Friday. Well, that brings us to the director's report. Anything you wanna, any late developments or anything you wanna emphasize?
We had in-service day, and a few of you were there. Thank you for participating. The day went well. We're still collecting staff feedback, but overall, things seem positive. The speakers were engaging, the topics were relevant. It felt like a successful undertaking. And staff did a really great job staying engaged. It's a long day, it's an intense day. And I felt really good about the level of participation from the whole group. And in-service day, similar to the training we were just talking about, is an opportunity for staff from different departments to work together, to learn together, to have some of that fellowship time, and it's meaningful to us. We take it seriously, and it's always done so to the best of our ability. So if anybody who was there has feedback that they'd like to give outside of the survey, obviously, just let me know. I also highlighted a couple of staff projects in the report, which I don't always do, but I felt like these are two that take a lot of planning and effort, and they can be sort of quiet. So pulling out the best of the best social media posts, I've added to my list of things to read from there. It's engaging, and there's wide topics, and then just highlighting the post-holiday tech, which we do tech support all the time at the library, but I know that that's something that people sometimes struggle with in the community. Is my kids got me a tablet for Christmas and I don't know how to turn it on. So library staff are tremendously patient and compassionate and knowledgeable in helping people kind of get used to their devices. And that can be done in the digital media lab during the drop-in tech help, but also at the service points. So if you hear of friends, family, neighbors who could use a little boost, that might not be something they're aware of. And then I noted that we had the Public Libraries of Johnson County Legislators reception that was in Coralville. And I felt like it went well. As typical in my years here, the legislators who came are folks who are supporters of libraries and we're curious to learn more. But it's always a good experience to share with them and share with the library community what work is being done, and gives us another practice at going through talking points so that when we might engage other legislators that we have, we've practiced it again. So it felt good. And I think next year will be our scheduled time to host again. And it's always nice to be the home library for that.
Questions for Ellsworth?
I wasn't able to attend. I wish I had been able to attend, but did the legislators identify any, issues that they anticipate coming up related to library services or libraries?
We do ask them at the end to kind of share what their thoughts are about that, and most of it was an assumption that some of the legislation that didn't pass last session will be brought back, possibly with some extensions, you know, from school to public or sort of wider reaching that. I think there was mention of the legislation around library boards and concern about will that come back? And then obviously expanding 496 from just schools. But there were not, that I remember, any like separate new topics. But tax reform, I think, is also on everybody's minds, thinking about what will the impact be to municipal budgets as a whole, and then within that, libraries specifically, because the intersection of those dollars going down and legislation against library service creates a very different environment to provide services.
We can move on to the Children's Services Department. And anything to add? The program is off and running.
TJ, the caravan is thanking for very large, codes of trains and train tracks that he donated.
Wow.
So, they have been a big hit, so.
Fabulous.
DJ.
Any questions about children's support? I think that takes us to collection services.
The special class program will be for the statewide.
Are there alternatives? And it's a selection question? Okay,
It was just the company shuttered
yeah.
immediately. That was, had the software for that. Lots of libraries. This is a software that's used throughout the country. Lots of libraries are scrambling.
IT. It's like it's been very fun in the web area these days. Any questions for Brent? Move on to the development department. Anything you'd like to add, Katie?
Just a little update on that, you know, fundraising is really moving along pretty well. When I created this report, I had reported that was about a week ago, that there were about $36,000 raised, and we're at 53 of the 85 now. So, things are really cooking here at year end. People are thinking about the library and supporting the library. And so we're really excited to be receiving those gifts. And also the number of new donors to the organization has expanded, and that's really important. And then finally, we dug a little bit further back, which is about 2017, to try to reactivate some lost donors from that era. And a lot of those folks are returning. We're seeing good return rates. So it's been really fun welcoming those folks back as donors and getting them reacquainted with the library's foundation.
I recently heard that about 20% of new donors give again the next year. So what are things that make them more likely to give again the next year?
thanking them, making sure that they get their tax letter in a timely way. We generally get them out within a few days of, they should receive it within a few days of making their donation. And then, we have divided our donor list into, different tiers for additional contact with those donors. So I'm just making sure that we have good conversations with folks over time.
It raced along. Just to say that I did attend part of the in-service day. It was very impressive. I heard the talk on trust, and it was quite illuminating, and I say that as somebody who gave a talk based on that topic probably 3 years ago. So I learned a lot about those ideas. It was very, very helpful. And now this was still just get up to lunchtime, but yes, the staff were highly engaged at that point. So very impressive. Are there any announcements from members? Is there anything to report from the advocacy committee? Anything from the finance committee, Joseph?
No.
Okay. And anything from the foundation members? I'm trying to remember who that is. Oh, Joseph and Bob. Thank you. Anything going on there? Okay. There were news articles included in your packet. Anyone has any comments or questions about those? Move on to the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of our November 21st meeting and disbursements for November. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Molly. In a second,
I'll second.
seconded by Hannah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Let's just take a quick look at the January meeting topics. Our 6-month strategic plan update. We'll review the second quarter financials and statistics and hear from adult services and community access services. Good. And then in February, remember, we'll be doing the director evaluation.
So we should probably meet.
Y'all should probably, yeah, it wouldn't be too early to get started. All right, well, having come to the end of our published agenda, I adjourn this meeting. And thank you all for being serving. Wish you a happy holidays.